Once again, I'm Doc Rodden, and this is Horror News Radio, the official Gruesome Magazine podcast. Back with me again this week are the scariest, goriest, bloodiest co-host on the net. And tonight we're reviewing Halloween Kills. Finally, the sequel to the 2018 version of Halloween is here, which itself is a sequel. Let's don't go down that road just yet. All right, it is in theaters now and streaming on Peacock. And they did that just so I'd have to say Peacock on this podcast. All right, let me introduce you to the crew, starting off with Dave Dreher, lead news writer at Gruesome Magazine. Dave, how you doing, sir?
You missed the best part, Doc. It's part of Peacocktober. Did you notice that? Which I thought was some interesting marketing.
If you're going to do it, just do it. Own it.
That's it. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, Doc, we got to do this. I think we all know, everybody listening knows your real name's John. So for tonight, you get to be Big John.
Big John?
Aww.
Yes, you're Big John. You can decide who Little John is.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
Choose your Little John.
Wow. That's a new game show. All right. Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr. How you doing, sir?
I just took a pee in the Little John. I'm doing good. Doing wonderful. By the way, this ends tonight.
There's a few people that wish that was true.
Evil dies tonight. Evil ends tonight. This dies evil.
Oh God, if that was only true.
Night.
By the way, that's 30% of the dialogue.
Yes, it is. And oh my God. All right. Also joining us is podcasting rock star and international cosplay queen Vanessa. Vanessa, how you doing?
Good. I came prepared.
You got your pumpkin shirt on. Yes. All right. Pumpkin Queen. All right, let's welcome special guest host Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Special.
The master of decades of horror.
Yeah, I'm good, but I have my. I didn't have time to change my stained T-shirt, so I was playing with a peacock.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Whoa!
Wow! Yeah.
Whoa!
It is Peacocktober.
TMI.
Well, they say
TMI.
a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush or something. I don't know how that
No.
goes, but all right. So what we're
on.
going to do tonight we're going to review Halloween Kills before it kills us. We're going to give our first impression of the film. That will be spoiler free, and then we're going to dive into the discussion, and we will get in the spoilers at that time. What little there are, people die. Come on. And things up. Final thoughts. Our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we get into that, we want to hope that you are going to enjoy not only this review, but many others that are on the site. Check them out. And if you want to help us out, it's easy and free to do. Hit the subscribe button, share with a friend, hit the like button. All those things do wonders for us. And of course, above all, we want to hear your comments down below. Let us know what you think of Halloween Kills. All right, let's dive into this. What movie are we going to be doing? We're going to be doing Halloween Kills from Universal, Blumhouse, and another company that shall not be named. Available in theaters. It can be now. Never mind. Available in theaters and on Peacock beginning October 15, 2021. The synopsis, the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode continues in the next thrilling chapters of the Halloween series, directed by David Gordon Green, written by Scott Teems, Danny McBride, and David Gordon Green, based on characters created by John Carpenter. There's Little John, Big John, whatever. Deborah Hill. The cast includes Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Andy Matechak. How do you say that? Matechak. It's exactly what I was thinking. Will Patton, Thomas Mann, Robert Longstreet, Anthony Michael Hall, Kylie Richards, Nancy Stevens, James Jude, Courtney, Nick Castle, and Aaron Armstrong. The last three are different versions of Michael throughout the film. Yes, they are. All right, let's get into this, shall we? All right, who shall go? Well, Dave Dreher, you, sir, are the Michael Myers fan.
Oh, I get to go first.
Wow. I want to know, sir, if there's anyone that's opinion I want to hear about Halloween Kills, and that is you, sir. What is your first impression?
Yes, by all means. Allow me to inform the world. I really was looking forward to this movie. So, and that might be part of the reason I'm kind of down on it a little bit because my anticipation was very high for this, and it did not live up to that anticipation. There were parts of it that I really liked, segments of it, but the parts of it that are, and again, when we get into spoilers, I'm assuming we will discuss these things, and there were just parts of it that were just cringeworthy throughout the show. Just really was. So I've actually watched it twice now already. What's the nice thing about being on Peacock? You can just watch it randomly whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really wanted to love this movie, and I came out of it just kind of tolerating this movie. I think we're all aware of the noise it's making online. People really hating it, people really loving it, people that can't understand why people just can't love it because it's a Halloween movie. I think we're probably going to get into that too. But this one goes into the disappointed file for me.
Disappointed file. Yeah, that's what's going on the box from Dave Dreher. It's tolerable.
It's
all right.
tolerable.
Up next is Vanessa. Vanessa, what is your first impression of Halloween Kills?
Well, speaking of reviews, remember how not so long ago people were complaining that they were showing too much in the trailer and we weren't going to have anything to see when the movie actually came out? Well, I will tell you that's not true. There was plenty left to the imagination in this movie, and I have to give it a lot of credit for that. Some of these kills were like insane, awesome, bloody, gory, crazy, most extreme kind of Michael Myers kills, and that was super fun. And some of the other things we'll get into later about the story and what they do, how they tell that story, how they bring the history of the whole, everybody's history into it. I really enjoyed that. But honestly, I'm probably more in the Dave category. I too was really, really, really excited about this one. I loved the last one. I thought the 2018 one was awesome. And had so many empowering things about it, and it was just really badass and cool, and it was cool to see like a really killer Michael Myers again. And I don't know, maybe I expected too much. I kind of think I like Chris was saying, there's a lot of division over this movie, and some of it seems to fall into like those like die-hard horror fans, or at least I thought, because originally it was a lot of just reviewers giving it negative reviews. But honestly, I think I feel bad. I'm on the corpo side of this. I'm on the not so. I feel like less of a fan, kind of talking so negatively about it. But it's just there's so many things about it that just kind of left me a little disappointed too.
Oh no. All right. Next up is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, sir, what was your first impression of Halloween Kills?
Well, my first impression was not good, but I could just repeat what Dave said. There were parts that drove me absolutely bonkers in terms of what in the hell are they doing, and then other parts that I thought this is pretty damn cool. And one of the things, well, I won't get into that, but I'm having second thoughts about one of the things that really bothered me a lot, because I'm starting to think it might be a little more realistic than I thought. But I really liked. I mean, I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and I love the fact that she has the I don't know, the guts or the whatever to play this pretty much without makeup. And I just think that's really great. Or if anything, maybe made up to look even older. But I also like that they brought all these old characters back. I really like that too. Not always happy with what some of them did, what actions they took. But I think I'll stop there. Overall, I'm going to say positive. I'm glad I watched it, and I will watch it again. And I did watch it on Peacock. I had to do the premium thing.
Had to spend the dough. All right. Well, that's not much. So not too bad. All right. Up next is the one and only Christopher G. Mohr. Sir, what was your first impression of Halloween Kills?
I was disappointed. I think like a lot of us, I mean, I really like the 2018 film. I'm one of those few people that actually, I kind of like the 2008 film better than the original Halloween. I know that's sacrilege, but I mean, I appreciate the original Halloween, but I don't know, for some reason I like that kind of mix of a little bit of humor. Maybe because they kind of present Michael Myers as more of a Jason than he was in the original. I don't know what it is, and this one I was kind of looking forward to because they talked about, I think everybody was talking about how brutal it is, that there's like lots of people get killed and stuff. And so I really wanted to see like a, taking a slasher to where he's just going at it and killing all kinds of different people. But this is, to me, this is a little bit of a mess of a film. It's funny because I think I'd posted something online and somebody commented that I think I said something about like the story. I mean, I like the Michael Myers aspect of it. I like his kills. I mean, and it's kind of weird that the best part of it is the unemotional character, but everything else is a little bit of mess. Is how it was the tone was all over the different place. The story was very scattered. The whole side story involving the mob didn't really make as much sense. It was just kind of stupid. And then somebody said, "Well, I don't watch Halloween movies for the story."
No. Oh no.
Okay. It's like the whole adage, like they don't buy Playboy, they read Playboy for the articles or something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's parts in the film I was like, oh, this is really cool, and a lot of it just dealt with the Michael Myers character, who's just like he's almost kind of pissed after the first movie, and he's taking the prisoners, and I think David Gordon Green had said it, but he's almost creating art projects of them, so it ends up becoming almost like Michael Myers meets a little bit of Seven. So I kind of like that aspect of it. But I don't know, the whole side story involving the mob and stuff just doesn't make a lot of sense. It feels very an underlying January 6th element to it, because of that.
Which is weird because it was filmed before that, but yeah.
Well, I know. Maybe it's just because of now, but yeah, it's just it does not make any sense, and I think to me this feels like a middle film. I think what happens in the third film is kind of what I wanted to see, because don't sideline Laurie Strode, So yeah, there's just a lot of things that kind of made me mad. It was just very frustrating, and there's just parts where it's just dialogue was kind of bad in a few places, this film is very frustrating because it's just all over the place, and so it ended up being one of those things like, can we get back to Michael Myers killing somebody again? I mean, that's basically all I was looking forward to, because I think anytime they did that, it was much more fun and interesting. Him like toying with people or going after people, that was the more interesting aspect of it. When it got to some of the characters, I really didn't care. A lot of the characters are annoying and had really just bad dialogue sequences, and and I made fun of it in the very beginning, but literally the last third of the film, people are just saying the same piece of dialogue. Well, this ends tonight, and evil dies here, and they just kept repeating it over and over. It's like, we get it, okay, we get it. You're making a reference to other movies, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of like. There is a flashback that takes place during the original Halloween, which is kind of cool because they actually use the same filmmaking techniques, and so it kind of feels similar. Although it is one of those things to where, like, when you film stuff from trying to make it look like the original film, it still feels a little bit off. But yeah, overall, I mean, I don't hate the film. I actually enjoy parts of it, but I don't know. This just made me like the first film much better. This film feels like a mess. It's like it should be Halloween Kielbasa, because it's just a mess of different things thrown into a sausage wrapping for us to try to enjoy and just to go figure out what the hell is in this meat. Yeah, and if anything, it just makes me more interested in seeing what happens in Halloween Ends. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that it kind of crapped on the stuff they set up in the first film, because I just wanted Laurie Strode to be just as indestructible as Michael Myers. And just
Yes.
go after things. And when she's kind of like, again, sidelined, that's a waste of her character. I mean, it just makes her more frail or whatever, to where I just want her to just go after people, go after him just like he's going after other people. But I don't know. I'll stop talking.
Eventually. Yeah, I'm in a very similar boat. I kind of walked out going, wow, that let me down. I kind of wonder if having it have to wait an extra year is part of that, but I don't think it is. I think it's just kind of it's a messy film. It's a little all over the place. When it's on fire, it works, and sometimes literally on fire. When it's doing that, it actually works. I think most of the time that's when Michael's on camera, right? It actually feels like a Halloween film. But there's a lot that happens in the hospital that's just like woof. And anytime it's just the crowd, and they're doing silly things with a car, and it's just, oh, come on. And then they might have disrespected a few of the original characters. We can talk about that later. For me, I'm torn, because I still think it's a better Halloween film, but it's nowhere near as good as what the 2018 Halloween film deserved as a sequel. So yeah, I feel a bit let down. A bit disappointed. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's people that have a huge love for this film.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen
Huge
several people
love.
today on Twitter and Facebook talking about how this is 110% better than the 2018 film, or this is what we're all looking for. And I guess some people maybe have a different perspective on the film than we do, but
That just makes me so curious too. Are we in spoilers now?
We are in spoilers. Yes, we are.
Okay. Because the 2018 film to me felt like it focused a lot on the Strode women, and you really got to see their strengths, their weaknesses, the legacy of their family. And this second one felt like a lot less of that. Just most of the characters in general were very just like kind of glazed over a bit in this one, to focus more on the brutality, I think, and the myriad of homages they were paying to previous movies. And so that also makes me curious as to what people are picking up on. Did they not like the first one because it focused more on Laurie Strode and her battle against Michael Myers? And do they like this one more because it's basically just like a Michael Myers balls to the wall kill fest?
I think you're onto something. I think if you're going into this wanting a brutal Michael Myers kill fest, like you're saying, I think it's going to satisfy you. But if you're wanting more of that dynamic, that family dynamic, the Strodes, this one undermines a lot of what they did in the first one, if you ask me. It kind of unravels some of the cool things that I think that first one did, especially when you get to the ending. I don't want to totally spoil that, but they do something that I didn't really care for. But whatever. You make a choice, and
nothing's ever done.
Yeah. So I think you're onto something. I think that's part of it. It depends on what you want out of it. And I think I wanted more of the Strodes.
Well, yeah, and I mean, focusing so much on the Tommy and I guess Lonnie's a new character, right?
Well, isn't he the one that goes out? Dave, step in here. Isn't Lonnie the one that Loomis scares at the front of the house?
Yeah. When they're getting ready in the original one, the kids are trying to sneak into the Myers house, and he's behind the bush. And he goes, "Hey, Lonnie," or whatever. That in the first film, that is his entire.
I figured he had to be. I figured he had to be connected somehow, but I mean, just the adult version of those weren't really interesting, and they felt very two-dimensional. Like I feel like if you had some psycho killer coming after you when you were a kid, I think you would be psychologically messed up. And I feel like Tommy
to still live in Haddonfield.
Like,
yeah. So I think to make it kind of a joke is what Tommy does in the very beginning with his little talent show speech didn't make sense to me. He just felt like just a bully character, as opposed to I feel like there should have been a little bit more emotionality to that, or something underpinning involved that. But again, he was just two-dimensional, and to me, they were more cardboard cutouts, and I didn't really care about them. I kind of just look forward to them getting killed off at some point, because it's like, and you put all your focus on them, but I feel that it should have been more focus on the Strode family. I feel like that some of those, I mean, the daughter, the granddaughter or whatever, kind of steps up a little bit, but still I feel like I still feel like there's moments like, yes, there's possibly a killer in the house. Let me put the gun down. No, don't.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess after the first film and how Laurie Strode was this kick-ass sort of Ripley from Aliens type character, I don't know. I feel like everybody was kind of sidelined to where, the Scooby-Doo effect, I saw it split up and not really come together. And then when people do come together, they chased after the guy who does not look anything like Michael Myers.
Oh, I know. He's not even the same height or anything.
Somebody said he looks more like Danny DeVito than Michael Myers. And I was like, what? This doesn't make sense to me. That's not even the same body type. So I don't know.
That whole scene had me.
Oh, I hated it. Too long, too much focus on it. But there's there's a great trend going on right now of bringing in actors from the 80s, from the 90s that were these horror favorites, these cult classic favorites, and I think that's great that they're getting the opportunity to do that. But I felt like maybe Jason Blum was a little heavy-handed with that in this movie by giving so much of it to these older kids, so much of it to the nostalgia, I guess, of the older characters. And especially having Michael C. Hall basically be the star of the movie, right? That just felt like, okay, you're trying to really put me in that 78 kind of mind frame. Like, this guy's a big actor from the late 70s, early 80s. We're putting him as a star in this kind of throwback film. It just felt like tonally just felt totally off to me. And I think we've kind of nailed it in saying, like, where was Laurie the whole time? Why was she gutted the whole time and wasn't able to do anything? Even when she jabs herself full of pain medication, she doesn't get very far.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, all these people run into me in the hallway. But I mean, to me, if you're going to bring those characters in, make their characters psychologically scarred. But then they have to step up and save their babysitter. Let's say that Laurie Strode's character got hurt or whatever, and Michael is about to kill him, and they step in and have to help her. That would have been a more interesting story than Tommy's character coming in and just being,
Well, I think they
Angry
missed
white
out.
male.
Yeah,
Angry white male.
Yeah, the white savior. The one thing I think they missed is that it all starts when they're at this party, right? Why not have them have kids and the babysitter's alone with the kids and Michael's there, and they have to race home to save the day? Why not put some stakes in it? Because having them just say we're going to defend Haddonfield just didn't have any stakes. It fell flat. It's like all you're doing is setting yourself up as pins for the bowling alley. It just felt really stupid.
Well, yeah, and can you imagine if they were fighting and then Laurie Strode breaks into the door and is like, "Get away from me, you bitch!" and does like a Ripley Aliens thing.
Oh my god!
I mean, there's like so many opportunities, and it just pisses me off because I love the Laurie Strode character in the first film, the 2018 film, because that's that kind of grisly character that people gave Mark Hamill shit in the Last Jedi. But you're this grisly character who's dealt with all these different things. I want to see that. I want to see that badass character. Just staple yourself together.
Yes.
Go after. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
She needs to be that kind of. She needs to be the new Dr. Loomis.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Chris.
She needs to be that crazy Dr. Loomis going after him, and
Yeah.
she's just like, oh, and then there's like a whole scene where they basically take the whole Dr. Loomis speech and they stretch it out like however many minutes. Like, he's evil. He's pure evil.
You know what? And that actually made me so sad because that was one of the best parts of the movie, seeing him again and how well they integrated him into this movie. And it made me realize too how much we were missing a Loomis in this movie. Someone who had some sort of control, who could shake people and say, you don't know what the fuck you're dealing with here, okay? This is a crazy man who will stop at nothing. You know, like I found that really, really lacking, especially when we saw him again. That made me really like nostalgic for that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like a middle piece.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I kind of like. I mean, I'm probably one of the few people that I kind of like it when they just show Michael Myers as being pretty much supernatural at this point. Where he's just like, no matter what you do, you're never gonna stop him. I mean, I kind of like that aspect of it because I think some people like, oh, they're actually gonna kill him off, but what's his name? The producer guy, from what I understand, will never allow anybody to kill off Michael Myers.
No, they should have beheaded that guy right then.
I was thinking, you have a car, run over his head.
Do something. At least buy some time if he's going to come back.
They were not making good decisions.
No.
Yeah, it's just strange.
Well, that was
strange decisions.
Yeah, the whole idea of the mob was the thing that really bothered me to start with, and then how stupid they were. But yet, I've seen lots of examples in the last 2 years of mobs doing really stupid things. So I guess I can't argue with that. I just didn't like it. I felt what
That's
you guys are
compelling.
saying, I think. Yeah. Well, I hadn't thought about it, but what you guys are saying about it, taking it away from the Strode women is, I think, maybe the problem, because I mean, I like those other people coming back in, but it was obvious. I think it's Karen. Doesn't she have a line at some point at the hospital where it was like, you know, I mean, Laurie's been practicing for 40 years setting this trap up.
I know.
And he still got away. And these goofballs running around in trucks and guns that are going to
with a baseball
take
bat?
care of it. Yeah. So, and then just like you guys were saying, when they do have him down for the count, they don't finish him off. You know,
double tap.
They stand around and talk about it.
When he's down, you got to do the double tap. Did you not learn anything from some?
But I also don't want to rewrite it. I felt like the Judy Greer's character was sort of like didn't know which way she was going. One minute she would still be saying kind of the stupid stuff, and then other times she'd be saying the right thing, and then finally, I don't know.
And they did the same thing to Allison too. They shoved her in the back of the car. No, Allison's going to be get in the car. I'm driving. We're going.
Well, what it does, it kind of pisses off the setup at the end of 2018. You know, where they all work together to fight against him, and they realize, okay, this person's evil. We're going to do whatever we do to stop it. And this takes place right after it. So it's like almost like they just erased all that sort of like
that's the
stuff that happened to where it's like, oh no, we're going to go back to being like, oh, this, you know, can't do anything.
Well,
blah, blah, blah.
The only hope I have is that this is actually more of a setup for the third one.
It has to be.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
Because it's just.
What are they going to do? They killed off all the Haddonfield.
Well, they should have. What they should have done is
Laurie's still alive. That's all
they should have had Michael Myers come to the hospital, and then Laurie Strode like does a Home Alone thing and builds traps in the hospital to fight him. I mean, there's like so many other better things they could have done with those characters, you know. So they better end it. Wow. This ends in the third film. They better make sure.
I know we got to hear it all over again
in the right way.
Yeah.
Because this feels like filler. It doesn't feel like it's inside of the sausage casing. It doesn't make any sense. So hopefully they can end it in the right way and the last one, because I don't know. But I know some people evidently think it's cool.
They're wrong.
Of characters, no tea, no shade, but you could have let one of the main black characters have a win. Like
all three of them. There's only three, right?
Two of them die. One of them, well, I won't say anything. And one of them is basically crying at the end, and that's pretty lame, Jason.
You stepped on my hat.
Yeah.
Oh man! And then you have Jamie Lee Curtis and Will Patton, the best actors in the entire film. Sorry, everybody else, but live up. And they're sidelined. They're in a bed talking to each other, and like that's.
And not even good dialogue. The dialogue,
no, not good dialogue.
Just horrible. That line that Laurie says when they're gonna give him some morphine, and she's like, "Do me a favor, make it a double."
No,
I'm like, oh my god, just kill me, shoot me with that shit. because I don't want to hear any more of this. I mean, it's just bad storytelling. It just is. I mean, that's what it is. It's not a poorly made film. It's not a poorly made movie. It's just poorly written.
Yeah.
And
Although the special effects, the gore effects,
there's a lot of eye.
Oh yeah,
gore.
But come on, them chasing that heavy set mental patient through the hospital. Not sure if it's Michael or not. Seriously.
Yeah.
What the hell? And even Laurie, I mean, I can even see, I mean, they kind of do change it because at one point they're like, it's not him, but by then the mob is taken over. But there's actually a scene there where Laurie's like, is that him? I can't tell. It's like, oh, for the love of God, he's 100 pounds heavier, twice as tall, and wearing white and not coveralls.
Come on,
He's waddling like a penguin. I mean,
yeah, it just made, and again, just another stupid ass thing. When they go into the house, the Andy Matichak character, they go in and she kicks open the closet door and there's a lit fucking pumpkin in the closet and she shoots her gun. Who has a lit fucking pumpkin in a closet? That doesn't make any sense.
Michael Myers put that in the closet.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just stupid. It makes no sense. I mean, I don't know. It could have just might as well been the Easter Bunny in there because that makes no sense either. So
you know what? Because in the last one, it was a cop's head. Like that's the difference between these two, right?
It's just dumb. It's dumb.
I did like the pitchfork. I will give them. Having the pitchfork on the front porch the entire film, and then it's coming back. And
well, even that was another thing too with our couple that's living in Michael's old house. That whole. I mean, I kind of liked the little Big John characters. I thought they were kind of fun. But that whole thing at the beginning with him standing there singing that song, it just made it's like why? That was like a 3-minute scene.
But the Halloween song?
It led nowhere. It did nothing.
Yeah, I was like, what? Did somebody slip an extra reel? like a weird edit point.
It's like, oh shit, we're only at 93 minutes and we promised 97. Hey, have that guy sing a song. We'll do that. I mean,
bring that song back in.
It just made no sense. It was just dumb.
Although if they destroy that house, wouldn't that stop him from going anywhere? Because he wouldn't have a window to look out.
Yeah, let's say just put a wall up. Wall in the window. Just stand there and stare at the wall. The hell, you never leave. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's how Halloween ends.
Yeah.
Or they just put a big cannon right there in the window.
They hire a contractor.
In it.
I just want Tom Atkins to show up. That's all I want. I want Tom Atkins to show up in the final reel. Okay, so before I do want to get back to Michael Myers himself with you, Dave. But before we do, I want to take a moment just to recognize that the film was filmed in North Carolina, in Wilmington, North Carolina, which for three of us is nearby us. And a few familiar faces for us appear in the film. We want to congratulate Sammy Castle for getting some good face.
He's in there a lot, actually. That was crazy.
When the one guy falls out of the window, man, he steps right up and looks.
And he's like, "Oh!"
it is pure Sammy Castle. If you know Sammy, that's Sammy. Exactly what Sammy.
That's his normal expression.
Yeah. And Christopher, you knew somebody else, and they got a line too, right?
Jennifer Trudring, I think her name is, and she's actually has a role in one of the segments for the Worst Laid Plans anthology that's coming out. So now we can say, hey, starring actress from
Star of Halloween Kills.
She's actually listed as hysterical woman in the credits. Nice. She's the one that's in the wheelchair and comes out like evil dies tonight or something like that.
The brunette, right? The brunette.
Yeah, she's the brunette. So if you see the girl that gets up and
I recognize her from her profile picture on the comment she made on your.
She's a lot. She's in a lot of different indie film stuff and other projects. So it's kind of, to me, it was like, oh wow, I know this person, and I think actually the guy who plays that's dressed as the Doctor Halloween costume, I think he's an actor out of Charleston or one of those places. So he's local to the Carolina area, I guess. So yeah, it is kind of cool. Evidently, there's other people too that because I think
they're from. Isn't David Allen Green from North Carolina, or David Gordon?
No. Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
How can I remember three names?
Danny McBride's from North Carolina. Actually, David Allen Greer, his production company headquarters is in Charleston. But
Allen
yeah,
Green
David
and,
Gordon Green.
David Gordon Green. I'm sorry.
By this
Well,
point,
we're just throwing everybody
There
under
you
the
go.
bus.
Jimmy Bobby Smith is from.
But yeah, they film a lot of their shows down in South Carolina and Charleston. So that was a good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I kind of wish that I'd looked into being an extra because that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, you should have. That would have been cool as hell.
we don't want to spend too much time on that because it's interesting to us and all the North Carolinians, but everybody else is probably like, shut up.
Yeah.
Dave, take the last word here before we get into our final thoughts, and we'll segue right into your final thoughts. But the key in this is Michael Myers. So just looking at Michael Myers, how was that?
I love the throwback Michael Myers, and I don't know, Christopher, maybe you could, or Jeff, maybe you too, because you like to research this stuff. I know Nick Castle played a Michael Myers. I'm not sure which one, but it seemed to me, and it only makes sense to me, that he would play the one that was in the flashback scene.
No, that was Aaron Armstrong.
Okay, well, he did a great job, because for me, it's always been about Michael Myers' gait and how he carries himself. And that's why I always thought Dick Warlock did such a good job. I always felt he was the best Michael Myers. And I think the whoever you said it was that played this throwback Michael Myers did an exceptional job. I thought he was great. Not that whoever played the current Michael Myers or the 2021 or 2018 Michael Myers did a bad job, but they all just, I don't know, they don't seem to have the spirit of Michael Myers that appeals to me. But I think he did fine. There were some iconic shots in there. Sometimes I think the mask looked really good. Other times I didn't think it looked quite so good. But overall, I give the Michael Myers portrayal a pretty hefty thumbs up. I think that was good. My problems with this movie lies more in the storytelling than anything else. I thought the kills were great. Some of them were real inventive. I think David Gordon Green shot it really well. I loved the fire stuff. When Michael comes out of the house, looked amazing. All that. At the end of the movie, when they were doing when Laurie was talking and you were getting like with the Michael Myers mask with just the blackness behind it, it just looked weird to me. I don't know why. It looked. I'm going to use the word fake because I don't know how else to put it, but it just looked, I don't know, strange to me. Like out of place, maybe. I don't know. It just seemed weird.
Sorry. I was going to say, if I understand correctly, Nick Castle played the Shape when his mask was off.
When his mask is off, that's
and
Nick
then
Castle, yeah.
James Jude Courtney played Michael everywhere else. All right, so Dave, let's throw you at this here. Give us your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene.
Well, again, final thoughts is I didn't hate it. I really didn't. There's a lot of really good stuff in it. At the same time, there's just a lot of really stupid crap that is really kind of unforgivable. And I'm hoping that this segment, this piece, does become just filler, because the 2018 was not a bad movie, and although my hopes were high for this, it came out much less than I was hoping for. But I'm hoping that's leading to just like a really fantastic end to this trilogy. So I'm going to hang my hopes on that. So with that being said, I'm just going to give this a middle of the road 2.5. It doesn't suck. It's not great. It's just kind of there. And really, my favorite scene is more of a favorite segment. I really enjoyed the flashback scene. I thought that was really good. I liked how they inserted the Dr. Loomis in there. Just that whole segment I thought was really, really well done.
All right. Yeah, Mike. Just real quick, Michael Smallwood is the actor out of Charleston, South Carolina, and currently in Atlanta. Is the nurse that's dressed up as a doctor, the husband to the wife who's a doctor dressed up as a nurse. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's that confusing. All right, up next is Vanessa. Vanessa, what's your final thoughts? Your scoring favorite scene?
Well, I definitely echo what Dave says. Just still like not the worst movie ever, and it definitely falls in line with Halloween Michael Myers movies because they're kind of like this, right? They're a little up and down. They're kind of all over the place. You don't always know what you're gonna get when you're gonna watch a Michael Myers movie, so that kind of falls in line with this, and it just leans more towards the more just brutal kill machine Michael Myers. And for me, that's kind of one of the things I didn't like as much. I know that he kills a lot of people a lot of the time, but when you kill everybody, it's a little too much. And we already know he's a supernatural kind of killer, but it just it's it's jumping the shark at some point. I feel like when he's
Wow.
just killing everybody, because then there's nobody left to kill. But then again, that's how you get like the Freddy versus Jason, right? They gotta fight each other then if there's no one else left to kill. So maybe he'll end up fighting like some other. Maybe it'll be like Candyman and Michael Myers meet.
With Tom Atkins in the middle.
That's right.
That's what we want.
But yeah, some of my favorite parts of this were the kills because they were just so incredibly brutal and gory and bloody and squishy and fun in that respect. And his setups too after the kills it is kind of like little art projects that he has because he's
Well, he did in the original too, right?
He did, yeah. No, they definitely kept that, and I did not hate that at all. I thought that was very much in keeping with the Michael Myers legacy. I wish I would have gotten more of the Strode women definitely being badasses again. I definitely missed that in this movie. So I'm gonna give it a 3. I'll give it a 3, kind of a little bit higher than the middle, but still definitely could have been a lot better. But my favorite scene, kind of my favorite shot, I guess, is in the beginning when he's coming out of the house and he's attacking all the firefighters, and they put the camera inside the mask of one of the firefighters that he's one of the first ones that he kind of knocks out, and you see these kills that he's doing from a few shots through this kind of firefighter's mask as it's all like bloody and broken and cracked. And I thought that was really cool. And they do something similar later on too. I can't totally peg it if it was through Michael Myers' eyes or something. They do something similar, but that shot really stuck out to me. I thought that whole scene was really kind of beautiful, right? With all the fire and all the death and the kills and him, backlit by this and those shots through the mask. And I think, without giving away too much, because we don't want to go full give away the whole movie, but the beginning and the end kind of echo each other. And I think had they taken out the echoing in the end, it would have felt a lot stronger to me too. One major kind of murder sequence like that I think really struck hard and cool in the beginning, but then it kind of like it loses its kind of magic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I you gotta agree with that. All right, Jeff Mohr, sir, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and your favorite scene.
So a couple of sort of side comments. If you watch the Joe Bob Briggs latest Halloween hootenanny, I think it was on like a week ago or so, he covers a movie called Angel, which was picked by David Gordon Green, and he's there for the whole movie, and Joe Bob mostly interviews him about this movie. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that he talks about there, I thought. Plus Angels has Rory Calhoun, so I got that connection.
There you go. Always back to
who starred in never mind.
Motel Hell,
Night of the Lepus and Motel Hell. All right, so and I'm with Dave too. Although when it comes to the Michael Myers, I thought this. I thought, okay, Michael's like 40 years older. All he does is stand in one place in a cell, and when they put him outside, he stands in one place, chained to that thing. And so his knees are bound to be like shot. So he's taken smaller steps. That's what I thought. I thought, geez, he's taking shorter steps. Oh hell, he's old. That's what's going on. Anyway, where my mind goes. Anyway,
man, cut him.
So I'm with everybody else. So would have loved to seen more of the Strode women fighting. They were basically marginalized by everybody else, and that maybe that was an intent. Like you said, Allison was shoved into the backseat of a car, and Lori is stuck in the hospital, and that's a choice because people have miracle recoveries on these movies all the time. This one didn't happen. I literally hated the mob scene. I just hated how much of the movie it took up and all the stupid stuff that they did. So anyway, I'm going to go with a 3 like Vanessa. I don't hate it. It's got some parts that really bother me, but there's other parts where I was really enjoying myself. I was a little bit bummed because I was looking forward to seeing Robert Longstreet after he did such a great job in Midnight Mass, but they don't give him much to work with. He plays the adult Lonnie, but that's what I'm going to pick as my favorite scene when his son Cameron looks up and sees where Michael has put him and how he's put him. That was just like that's what a killing machine would do. We don't worry about being neat or tidy, or we just shove stuff in.
Put them in a drawer. All right, Christopher G. Mohr, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene.
Yeah. So, I mean, the strengths of this film are more in the kills and Michael Myers. Although I feel like now this film has kind of fashioned him. I know they've always tried to create like the mystery around him, like he's just pure evil. But I think the second film has fashioned him to be more like a Jason Voorhees, to where because even when Laurie Strode's like, when he kills, it gives him more power or something like that. And so it's almost like, when he can come back from having a spine and a knife in his spinal cord, and be killing people just out of the blue. Although there was one point when I was watching, I was like, does he piss? Does he use the bathroom? Does he stop to get a snack in between kills? I was just thinking that. I was like, I never really thought about that, because like surely he's got to be a little bit hungry, But although I will say, between was it 1978 when the first one came out? Between the original and the one that takes place now, the trick-or-treating kids are assholes. Those 2 little kids on the swing. Please, Michael Myers, please kill these kids.
Oh no,
because they're just so annoying. And then those little kids in the flashback with was that the redheaded kid's real hair? Or was that a wig? Because that was just like it felt like he had like, I don't know. It was like red metal. It wasn't even real hair.
I thought it was a costume. It was part of the costume.
Was it a costume? He looked like the little kid from A Christmas Story, the evil bully kid. But yeah, I don't know. I think it had some good moments. I mean, I did like that Michael Myers had sort of like become this brutal killing machine, or he was kind of pissed off. It's like, you're gonna try to burn me? I'm just gonna kill everybody. But I think sidelining the strongest characters from the first film and then changing their modus operandi from the first film to where they kind of either like, I don't know, like the daughter character or the Laurie Strode character, she's sidelined or hurt. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to make Michael Myers so indestructible, we need to have Laurie Strode to be somewhat to that same level, because then it just feels kind of the counterweights are not there to really support the strength of what the first film did, that made that kind of so powerful, to where it kind of sucks the energy out of everything, to where just Michael Myers is totally indestructible. And then you have these other characters you don't care about, like the Tommy character. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a mess of a film. The mob stuff is just stupid. It doesn't. I mean, I know people do stuff with mob mentality for no reason, but the way that played out, it just played out for so long, and it just gave a lot of crazy extras their moment to shine, but didn't really work. And really just it took away from what we were there for. To me, it's the Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers story.
Yes. Or at least
so make it
Strodes,
about that. Yeah. So when you don't make it about that, then it's no longer that story. So yeah. So it's a little bit of a mess. the dialogue's all over the place, and this is where the tone doesn't work as much as in the first one. There's kind of forced moments of humor at times, and then moments where it doesn't even make sense, and then anyway, I'm gonna stop because although we'll agree with Vanessa, she stole probably my favorite scene is that the fire scene, because when they put the camera inside the helmet, and you see that crowbar or whatever go into it, and then you see like him using the little chainsaw thingy, the rotating blade thingy. That was like, I was like, oh man, I want to see more of this. I will give it a 3.25.
Oh wow!
Also, I forgot, how stupid was that firefighter just shooting him with that hose? Like, you're just gonna wait for him to walk.
Well, normally people would fall over, right?
You. But if you're not, then you would move, right?
Well, evidently Haddonfield is incestuous, and they're all they all have the same mentality of not making the right decisions. Which is why everybody just even orderlies in the hospital like just running for no reason. Yeah, I mean that's literally there's like the different orderlies just running, but there's probably patients dying of a heart attack, and because you're too busy chasing after this little dumpy guy.
You also text me about the guy with the morgue thing with the windows.
Oh yeah, by the way, what hospital has a morgue with a window that you leave open with a guy with his dick out, and then a young teenage kid with a hole in his face? What? Hadfield is messed up. What is this hospital? This hospital needs to be shut down. I mean, that's worse than doing HIPAA problems with HIPAA rules. What? Why would you have a?
Are you saying there's an identifier there?
It's like the baby viewing window for corpses.
It's not a daycare. These are dead bodies.
What was the timestamp on that scene?
There's literally a dead guy with his dick hanging out, and the whole time I'm like, "What?
I'll have to go
bring
back
it on a
and look
cover."
at that.
I'd forgotten about that.
I completely forgot about that. Now you just got me frustrated
that's your
about
favorite
that. I
scene,
should move my 3.25 to 3 now. No, that's just stupidity. That's like
bad storytelling.
Yeah, that's movie. I don't think even movie reality makes kind of sense. To me, that's just like, we need to have a moment where the mom of this dead kid needs to see her dead kid.
Well, it would have been simple, right? All she had to do was like run away and run into the morgue and shut the door and turn around.
Yeah, she could have went in there, but having a window in a morgue?
I thought she was going to look at babies, and Michael Myers was actually going to be in there with a baby.
And definitely they took it at New Hanover Medical Center in Wilmington. I want to go there and make sure they don't have a morgue with windows. But anyway, hospitals don't do that. Oh God, now I've completely forgot.
That's to make it easy for the body snatchers.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 1.5.
I was like every time that showed up, I was like, why? Why movie gods? Why?
Why movie gods?
I don't know.
I will say I kind of disagree with Dave in one aspect. I kind of like it toward the end when I don't like the aspect of Laurie Strode talking about. This goes into my scene. Basically, when Michael Myers comes back up from being like beating the shit out of him, have a knife at his spinal cord, which would make you a paraplegic, by the way. But when he gets up and he's fighting people, and then they shoot it to where it's so dark inside his mask you don't see his eyes, so it kind of visually it evokes it. Yeah, this is pure evil. So I kind of like that visual aspect of it, because, or maybe it's just more about like this whole mob side plot I hate, so I'm glad that he's killing all these people so they don't show up in Halloween Ends. But yeah, I kind of like that scene where he's just like he's basically being Michael Myers meets John Wick, and he's just taking out everybody. It turns into a Jackie Chan thing by the end of it, where he's just killing people left and right. And
then face to face with Tommy, like, oh, okay,
yeah, I was like,
good shot, but pointless.
Yeah. I'll show you my huckleberry.
I got your huckleberry hanging right here, buddy.
Well,
you're still in the morgue with the guy with his dick hanging
No,
out.
no.
Oh man, he's
Hey, we forgot to mention though too. How nice was it to see Charles Cyphers though? just all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really great seeing him in there, and I'm glad they brought him back there towards the end a little bit. I was afraid we were just going to get that little cameo of him going, Lori,
Right.
you know, and that was it. But they brought him back for a little bit more, so it was really great seeing him.
Yeah.
So they can kill him off.
Got the rest
rather severely.
Yeah. Speaking to that, what they did to Mary, Mary was the nurse in the car. At the very beginning of the 78 film, and they bring her back, and of course they pay homage to it, and that's fine. But man, they disrespected that character so much. What I mean, it's just
she was in the passenger seat, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that was really dumb.
Yeah.
Really dumb.
So
didn't they kill her off in H2O as well? Wasn't she in H2O?
Did they? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they did. At the very beginning there, when she goes home, and I'm pretty sure she did. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but I think they killed her off in that version as well.
How many times has she been killed by Michael Myers? That's a question on a trivia thing. All right, this movie is like, there are times like I'm having a great time with it, and there's other times like I'm cussing at the screen, just like, what the hell? And then I'm cheering when Sammy shows up, just because. Hey, that's Sammy! Look,
because you know him.
Sammy!
Go Sammy!
I just did not know that was going to happen. It just, wow, that was funny. Anyway, totally, on an aside. But yeah, I think we've said enough about it. I'm not going to say anything uniquely different than everybody else. So I'm going to give it a 3 as well, because I think Vanessa, when we walked out, I think that's what I said then. So I'm going to stick with that. Although I could be talked down to less pretty quickly if I let myself. I don't think I can be talked up, but I think I can be talked down a little more. But I'm going to stick with the 3. And my favorite scene, I'm going to do favorite scene and a favorite shot, because my favorite scenes have been taken. But my favorite shot is Michael coming out of the burning house. I just thought that was so powerful to have him come out, and he's got the guy's axe that he tears down walls, fiery walls with it. He's got holding that, and you just know it's about ready to hit the fan, and he just looks powerful. He looks imposing, and it's just a great shot with the fire and the flames and everything. And I think that's what we're going to remember, is that shot from this film going forward, or the guy's penis and more. My favorite scene, though, having you guys taken all the rest, is it's going to be when Lindsay's trying to get away from Michael, and all the rest of them have been very comically disposed of, and she hides. And the only reason I'm picking this scene is because I thought it was so well done. I thought it was pretty tense, and I was just waiting for him to grab her by the hair or jump down beside her like Jason would, right? Because Jason would jump down and land in the puddle and then stick something in your face. Ooh, that sounds wrong. I just saw, and then have him walk across the bridge, and he pauses for it. It's like, I just thought it was pretty tense, and I really enjoyed that. So I applaud the effort there and the whole thing. Of course, seeing all the masks. Of course, when he puts on, like you said, a piece of art, he takes the time to put them on a mask. Although, when did he do that? Did he come back? Because it did.
Don't.
Yeah.
You can't think.
Don't try to figure it out now.
So,
No.
But so so seeing those 3 masks, that made me
maybe it was Tom Atkins came back.
I was gonna say that.
We'll find that out in the third part.
or the Shamrock dude or somebody. So like, come on, you're there, own it, bring it in, let's do it. All right, well, there you go. That's our review for Halloween Kills. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot from those who absolutely loved it, and we want to hear you. And those who absolutely hate it, we want to hear from you as well. So please leave comments down below. Vanessa, as always, Jeff, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure having you guests on.
I appreciate it.
Fun
Good
discussion.
Yes. If we do 30 more minutes, we'll be as long as the movie. All right.
I can sing a song.
We got a 30-minute song here.
Play the song, do the dance, smoke the joint. Yeah.
Do the 3-minute song 10 times.
I'll be the dead person in the morgue window.
Hopefully the one with the jaw injury. What's the woman from Porky's? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? It's got got a particular mole on it. Anyway.
That's a
Wow.
call, guys.
And then, okay, so I bring that up because Jeff, she is with Rory Calhoun in what movie?
Motel Hell.
All right, with that, let's say goodnight.
How dare you? How you dare you end on that? That's sacrilege.
Of course.
Chris's favorite movie.
I know.
Don't say
One for
that.
Christmas. One for
How
Christmas.
dare you
All right.
associate me with that?
But seriously, let's say goodnight.
Grandma,
Right.
anything that didn't move.
Ah, wow. We're done. Bye, guys.
You kill